want to hear from you first. And again, we always like to keep this very conversational, and we want to hear from you. We want your feedback. We want to learn from each other, but we have a couple pulse questions first. Just want to see how people are feeling and where we are. So a couple pulse checks. So feel free to drop anything, any comments into the chat, but we're going to launch the first poll. Very basic. Does your organization offer or promote a wellness program? Yes or no? And we'll just give this a couple seconds. I'm not going to show the results of this poll just for time's sake, but I will give this about 10 more seconds and report the percentages. Okay, so very interesting. We have 92% has a wellness program or promotes a wellness program. 8% does not. Okay, very interesting. So that brings us to the next question, which is how satisfied are you with your organization's wellness program or overall culture? So for those of you that don't have a wellness program, please feel free to participate in this as well. How satisfied are you overall? And that's going to lead us to our third question. And yes, for the last dot, I just said ugh, because I didn't know how much further you could go from dissatisfied. So, okay, let's go ahead and close this. 33% very satisfied and 33% satisfied, 25% neutral, 8% dissatisfied. Very interesting. Okay, now we're going to go to the third one. What would you like to see at your organization in 2024? Please feel free to choose as many of these as you would like. What would you like to see more of? More robust wellness, additional benefits, customized benefit solutions, or know how to use your benefits, because there are so many that employers offer. More mental health resources, addressing chronic burnout. You know, I know that we all have been talking about this so much since 2020, but it's just, we're in an unrelenting place emotionally, I feel, generally in the world. And chronic burnout is very much still an issue. Or increase opportunities for community social involvement, employee recognition. I'm going to go ahead and close this and show the response. And everyone wants to see more of everything, which is great. That's good. I would too. So more robust wellness program, additional benefits or knowledge on how to use your benefits, more mental health resources came in at the top. Yep, fully agree. Increase opportunities for community or social involvement and more employee recognition. So as we're going through this presentation, if you'd like to comment or expand upon any of these and what is working for you, or maybe even what your greatest challenge is, please feel free to share and we will go ahead and discuss those. So let me just get back to the presentation here and formally introduce Heidi. Okay, hold on one second because my computer has been, it's been a day. Hold on. Okay. Heidi, can you see my slides moving?
Yes.
Okay, great. All right, just making sure. Okay, so what we that last survey or poll question that we just had, that's what we're going to talk about today. So promoting social and emotional well-being in the workplace and what that can look like, the impact of a comprehensive wellness program, how to use employee appreciation tactics that people actually will participate in and enjoy and increase engagement, leveraging those incentives, and harnessing the power of community partnerships for enhanced results. I'm especially excited to discuss that. So today we are joined by Heidi Stein, wellness coordinator at City of La Crosse. And Heidi actually started the wellness program there 15 years ago. So Heidi, if you could really start us out with just the evolution of the program. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever spoken with anyone who's been in the same role for 15 years in a wellness position. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Well, first off, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here and to share the city's wellness program with everyone. But yeah, so I was hired by the city 15 years ago to design and implement an employee wellness program at a time, obviously, when not many companies offered any sort of wellness programming at all for their employees. So people didn't yet fully understand the value of them. When I came on board, the city had just rolled out their first health risk assessment to employees. And with wellness being a new concept to employees, the city had to deal with a lot of backlash and mistrust issues. But over time, and after a lot of education, trust was earned, and eventually employees started to see the value in what we're trying to do for them. And then fast forward to 2023, here we are, and I can tell you that 93% of our eligible employees participated in at least one wellness program this year. So we've come a long ways.
That's huge. That's so huge. And I I know I've said this before on this series, but my former employer, which would say something which would aggravate me to no end, but he would always say to me, Amanda, how do you eat an elephant? Which is one bite at a time. Also, anyway, gross analogy. But the point being, that's what it really takes over 15 years to get to that amazing engagement level. 93% is awesome. Could
Yeah.
you elaborate a bit on your population and just what that looks like and who that includes?
Sure. So the city of La Crosse has about 500 full-time employees, of which is made up of about 20 different departments, and 8 of those departments are outside of City Hall. So we have lots of demographics that we're working with and different locations. So sometimes it can be difficult, trying to plan programming and do that sort of stuff. So.
Yeah, because well, number one, it's a really big population, but also we're not just doing, oops, my slides are cut off for some reason. I'm sorry. Okay, hold on. I'm trying to fix it. Um, I don't know what's happening this week with my computer and with sharing slides. But having such a big department and having the diversity within the type of employee and the location certainly affects that. So I'm going to advance on to the next slide and just go over the overview of the program here. And just let me just try one thing. Okay. If that has made it better, let me know. If not, let me just please mention that everyone will receive a copy of this recording and a copy of the slides as well. So you will have a hard copy of this. So Heidi, you have, when we first started talking in reviewing your program, I could not believe the amount of initiatives that you have. And this, we're going to highlight just a couple, but this is the result of 15 years of wellness programming, right?
And trial and error.
Mm-hmm. Of these, what would you say gets the most participation or employees are most excited about?
I would say our La Crosse 1856 program, which is our partnership with Motion Connected, and then definitely our partnership with VRO Health, which everyone will learn about in a bit as well. I would say those two, and then our health risk assessments are definitely very popular.
And we're going to definitely go over La Crosse 1856 and the Vieiro Health Program as well. Before we move on to the next slide, could you touch on the reusable container program?
Oh yeah, sure. So the reusable container program is a partnership, and I'm going to use that word a lot throughout this webinar, you'll notice, but it's a partnership with our local community college, which is just in our backyard here. And what it is employees can purchase a set of, and I actually have them right here, a set of reusable containers, so there's a little one inside there as well, for $5. And then they can take them to, for breakfast, for lunch, over to the Union Market there to purchase healthier options and they can receive anywhere from like 69 cents to $2 off of their meal by using these reusable containers.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. That is super cool. I've never heard of a program like that. So in speaking of the environmental impact, you have an amazing wellness garden as well.
Thank you. Yes. So this space was created about 5 years ago, again, in partnership with our city parks department. And at the time, the space was not being utilized at all. It's actually located within the City Hall facility grounds. And so when the idea came about, I went to the mayor at the time and put my request in that we create an employee wellness garden. And he was actually very excited and supportive of the idea. So the Parks Department built all those beautiful raised garden beds for us while the employees helped plan for our first season of gardening. So we started, when we first started 5 years ago, we wanted to grow things that we knew would grow. So like easy things, tomatoes, peppers, herbs. And then over time, we've kind of done trial and error and got more into squash, onions, peas, beans, things like that. And then we also have raspberry bushes and blackberry bushes as well. But employees really, they help with everything from planting the garden, watering, weeding, picking the produce, and then eventually tearing it down.
I love this. This is beautiful. And I think you mentioned when we last spoke, there's a little sitting area as well that has native plants. So
yes, there's a picnic table out there, so employees can go out and take their breaks, and there is like a little butterfly garden out there as well. So it's just a nice, peaceful space for employees, and it's very private.
That's beautiful. And more peaceful space for employees brings us to your wellness recharge room.
Yeah. So this space obviously provides a relaxing atmosphere for employees to just be able to step away from their work, relax, refocus, and recharge. The room includes relaxing music, a water fountain, string lights hanging around the ceiling, a diffuser, and it's divided into 3 private spaces. 2 of the spaces have zero gravity chair in them, and then the other space has yoga mats, yoga blocks for those who maybe just want to get down and stretch. But it's available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for employees to utilize. Our police department is actually located just around the corner, and so we do have many officers who will utilize this space during their night shift as well. But ultimately, no matter how employees utilize the space, our hope is just that they leave it ready to return to their work by feeling recharged and refocused.
Hmm. And having it available and that accessible for many of the employees. When we talk about just breaking down those barriers and the impact that has. So we're going to get into the nitty gritty and more of our agenda that we set forth at the beginning of the session and talk about the promoting the social and emotional well-being in the workplace and what that means uh, for City of La Crosse and its employees. And one of the things that impressed me most right away is your wellness program policy. So could you elaborate on that, Heidi?
Sure. So this is probably actually one of my favorite wellness related benefits that the city offers. This benefit allows employees participating in our VRO health wellness program, which I'll talk about in a bit, up to 3 hours of paid time per week during their regularly scheduled workday to participate in any VRO health and or city related wellness programs or services. So they can use that time really to, they can go work out, they can meet with a nutrition counselor or health coach, participate in a nicotine support program, watch wellness related webinar, or even receive a therapeutic service such as acupuncture or massage. But what I love about this program is that it makes a bold statement to our employees that says, we care about your health and your wellness, and we support you on your journey by allowing you this time.
Absolutely. That just speaks volumes to the level of importance and what leadership feels the impact can be. And that in turn leads us to La Crosse 1856, which is the partnership with Motion Connected. And could you describe that a bit? You're in year 3 of your Motion Connected program.
We are, yes, we're just kind of wrapping that up. But so look, we call it La Crosse 1856, and it was named after the year that the city was first incorporated. But it gives employees an opportunity to earn incentives and prizes by reaching 1,856 points through activity, awareness, healthy choices, and prevention. Our program runs January 1st through November 30th of each year. That's how long they have to earn points. And we currently have 3 employee groups that are eligible to participate in this, being our non-represented employees or non-unionized employees, our sworn police, and then our transit employees. So, and then I don't know if you want me to talk about the incentives or.
Oh, let's cover that when we get to more of the incentives. But it is what is nice about this program, especially for your demographic, is that it is all based in the Motion Connected app. So everyone has access at their fingertips, regardless of where they are, to the program and are able to participate at their convenience.
Yes. And this one, I'm actually super proud. We currently have 75% of our sworn officers participating in this program, and then about half, 50% of non-represented employees. So it's definitely a popular one.
That's really great, especially for the police. Having 75% participation for that demographic. That's excellent. Could you explain non-representative employees?
So we call them non-represented employees, and those are basically just non-unionized employees. So here at the city, we have 4 different unions: our transit union, our police supervisors, and then our police non-supervisors, and then our fire. So I guess the rest would be considered a non-unionized or non-represented employee.
Yep, thank you. So for those that aren't familiar with the union and what the status, what that means for the status of employees, I just wanted to cover that real quick. And I would also just like to applaud you for making those partnerships with the union, because with the different unions, you said 4 different unions, because that can be a challenge
Mhm.
for the unions to approve and participate as well.
Yeah. When we started this La Crosse 1856, it actually, we first piloted the program with our police. They have wellness funds, and they were just at the point where they didn't need any more fitness equipment, right? You can only have so much fitness equipment. So we kind of thought outside the box and wanted to do something different. And then it came about when I was talking to Amber Van Allen from the City of Green Bay. So
Yeah, that's awesome. And we'll talk about that more in a bit as well. So when we're talking about the impact, and you shared some of the metrics already. So you have 93% participation today, overall in overall wellness programming, with participation in at least one program that you offer, but also within your wellness programs, 94% participation rate in the La Crosse 1856 program. I remember when you first came on and watching the numbers, and each year they have doubled. So that is really great to see as well. The word is being spread and people want to do it, and they're achieving the incentive results.
right.
Okay, so you guys do a phenomenal job really reaching out to all different departments. You have 20 different departments, and getting everyone together for team building exercises, and using these employee appreciation tactics, and almost wellness is a vehicle for these. So could you describe what you do?
Sure. So for team building, we really feel like not only does it promote wellness, but it's a way for employees to connect with their co-workers, learn about each other, and hopefully share some good conversation and laughs along the way. But we do a holiday team building event that actually we just kind of started, but in the past few years, we've done what's called a gingerbread house contest, and this one's actually pretty fun. Each department works as a team to build and decorate a gingerbread house, and yes, you can see a couple examples there, but they only get to use the materials that I provide them with, so the graham crackers, the frosting, and then all of the candy. And they work as a team, they complete the task, they take a couple of pictures, and then they submit those photos to myself. And then we have employees vote. And so the winning team gets a pizza party. So that's been really fun. This year, our wellness team is switching it up a little bit by hosting an ugly sweater team building decorating contest. So it's kind of along the same concept. However, this time teams can only use the items found within their department already. So they can't purchase anything. I provide them with the plain sweater to use. They decorate it and submit their photos, and then again, the winning team would get a pizza party. But we have 16 departments signed up for the ugly sweater competition.
That's awesome. And who wears the ugly sweater?
So the managers get to wear the ugly sweaters.
I think that's the most fun. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then you also have, I'm going to show this image of Dunking the Mayor, which is a part of your summer employee appreciation lunch.
Yeah, so each summer we do an employee appreciation picnic, and employees, we do it on paid time. They're allowed to come on paid time. And we have food trucks there. We have music. We have a little old ice cream parlor that comes in and does the ice cream. And then we also do many door prizes and stuff. But one of the things we also do is kind of just a fun little option where employees can actually dunk their manager in the dunk tank. So they pay $1 to throw 3 balls, and then hopefully they get to dunk them. And then the money raised for that goes, we usually pick a local organization to donate that money to. But it's all paid for in appreciation for our employees.
That's really great. And I think, again, speaking to the importance of social events like this, they can participate during paid time.
Yes.
And that's huge. And you feed them. If you feed
Yes.
them, you can dunk
They're
your
happy.
manager.
If you feed them, they're happy.
Yes. Yes, that's awesome. And so you also offer this micro health event. Can you go into details for the Wellness
Sure.
on Wheels event that you offered? This is
Sure.
amazing.
So this was the first year we did this, and we actually did it in partnership with Vero Health, our wellness partner, and we did it. The theme was Wellness on Wheels: Your Health, Your Journey, Your Way. But it's a really fun, interactive, and educational event. Employees come on paid time. They got to, we had it at what's called the La Crosse Center, so our local event venue that's part of the city. And we did it in the arena, and we did that so we'd have enough space where employees could test ride an electric bike. They could ride that around. They could spin the wellness wheel for a chance to win a night at one of our boutique hotels downtown. They could learn hands-only CPR, stop the bleed, how to use an AED. They could get a mini facial, just tons of opportunities. But it was very popular, and so we're going to do it again next year and add food trucks because people like food.
Absolutely. Love a good food truck. But also, the variety of offering the different booths and making it educational as well.
Yes, people really appreciated that, as opposed to, just going up to a booth, getting brochures and whatnot. Everything was interactive.
That makes a big difference. That makes an absolute big difference.
Yep.
And in reaching your 20 different departments and your over 500 employees, you've leveraged wellness champions as well. And that's a relatively new initiative. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is fairly new. But it's made up of champions from some of our different outlying departments. We meet monthly to basically plan and strategize our program offerings. But what I love is, these wellness champions, they're so important in that they offer input on programming. They help promote the wellness program, obviously, and then they help really to bridge a communication gap by spreading the word about activities and events. I'm located in City Hall, and with so many departments and outlying departments, always relying on emails can oftentimes be inadequate. So the champions have definitely helped to bridge that gap.
Absolutely. That's so needed. And I forget the latest stat that I've just heard about how many times an individual needs to see a message for it to stick. It used to be 4, then it was 7. I think it's now 12. Like it's just, we can't be sending that many emails. Right. And wellness champions are critical
Yes.
to get it out and really promote. And also, it brings about that accountability as
Hmm.
well. If someone is inviting you and looking for you,
And not
that's
only that,
really important.
they know their departments better than I do, right? So
Mhm.
they can offer feedback that maybe I'm not hearing, or so it's definitely good in that way as well.
Yes, absolutely. That's an excellent point. I really want to see some pictures of the ugly sweaters from this year
All right.
too. So in your program, you've touched on this uh, a little bit before, but you offer very creative incentives for each department, but also within several different initiatives, which is a very creative way to leverage incentives. I haven't used this before, I'm sorry, I haven't seen this use of incentives before, and it's excellent. So just by completing the HRA, those that complete it automatically monthly premium contribution is lowered.
Right. Yep. So all employees enrolled in the city's medical benefit plan are eligible to participate in the health risk assessment. So if they complete it, they receive that lowered monthly premium contribution towards their medical benefit plan beginning the following January. And their spouses are eligible to participate as well, but it's based on the employee's participation only.
Excellent. And then La Crosse 1856, which is that points program housed in the Motion Connected app. So by participating, employees can earn points. But what you have done is also offered prize drawings for each level of points. So can you touch on
Yeah,
that?
sure. So I mentioned that we have the three different groups that we work with. And our transit group, they work towards milestones. So they can receive up to $300 in milestone incentives if they make it to 1,856 points. While our non-represented employees, so again, our non-unionized employees, and then our sworn officers, they receive the big kind of prize for them is if they reach 1,856 points by November 30th, they receive an extra day off of work. So that's kind of their big thing. And then in addition to the day off, our police do something a little bit extra in that they do a drawing. Their union puts in money and they do a drawing at the end of the program for one officer to receive a $1,500 vacation of their choice. So that's kind of big too. But then, yes, so then throughout the entire program, we do tons of drawings for gift cards and different things to downtown. We try to support our local businesses and stuff. And so, yeah, so that's a great way to do that as well.
Yeah. And I really like how you do it at each level, and you have a deadline for it as
Yeah,
well. So if you
yes.
sign up and participate by this date, you're eligible for one of three prizes. So it really keeps employees moving along the continuum.
Yep, yep, it motivates them to, if they want to be part of that next drawing, they gotta, reach that point break by a certain date.
It's that positive reinforcement
Mm-hmm.
everyone needs. So now getting into the community partnerships and enhancing the results. This is an amazing program. So I'm just going to turn it over to you, Heidi, to describe. And could you also touch on how, the impetus of this program and how this all came together?
Yeah, certainly. So I can't see the slide, but I'm thinking that you're speaking about behavioral health.
Yes.
Okay. So just a little bit of background. First off, so behavioral health is a La Crosse-based health system. that serves both individuals and businesses with a focus on health promotion. So in 2019, the city had an opportunity to partner with Vero Health to provide not just a gym membership, but really a whole health and wellness option for employees and their families. The program is offered at no cost to employees, spouses, and then dependents ages 16 and older who are enrolled in the city's medical benefit plan. But participants for this program have access to a number of programs and services, including a 7-day-a-week gym that VeroFit gym, body composition assessments, group fitness classes, nutritional counseling, health coaching, nicotine support programs, webinars, and then they also do quarterly health and wellness activities for kids ages 3 to 10 years old. So this is the program that I was referring to earlier when I said that eligible employees can utilize up to 3 hours of paid time per week to participate in any of these type of programs. But really it's a 6-year agreement, which I think shows employees that the city is committed to providing programs and opportunities that improve their health and well-being.
Absolutely. And there's so many different, as you touched on many of them, there's so many different opportunities available. And then there are also events specifically that are more geared towards children or more family focused as well.
Yes. Yep. They'll do quarterly, you could drop your child off and they'll do fitness, nutrition with your children. And then something that we're doing right now is called an action pack. And I don't have one here to show you, but it's something kind of fun that they really do a good job of putting together for us. But it's for ages 3 to 10, and employees can take one of these. It's all packaged up in a nice little box. And we're doing one right now that focuses on hibernation and germs and kind of the winter season and stuff like that. So there's just fun little neat projects in there for the kids to do.
That's excellent. I'm smiling because I'm thinking about my own kids and when I pick them up. I'm like,
and it's a good time with the kiddos going to be off here soon for the Thanksgiving holidays. So
absolutely. Yes, more activities are needed for that break. And again, guys, everyone's going to receive a copy of this presentation. I tried to fix the sharing. I don't know why it's showing partial screen of the PowerPoint. It hasn't done this before, but you will receive a copy of all these slides. Now, in touching on the power of community partnerships, not only within your own community, but you've also reached out to connect and collaborate with your fellow wellness coordinators in the area as well.
Yes. Yeah. So, I really believe that good partnerships can strengthen a wellness program, no matter how far apart you might be located geographically. In my situation, obviously, I have many great local partnerships, but I'm also lucky enough to be able to connect and share experiences with people like Amber Van Allen from the City of Green Bay. Especially, we both work for local government, and so we have very similar demographics and an organizational structure, which has worked really great in just bouncing ideas off each other and having those resources. And then, like I mentioned earlier, she was actually the one who introduced me to Motion Connected 4 years ago. So I think partnerships are a good thing.
Yeah, for sure. Excellent. And what Motion Connected is also offered is a Tri-City Step Challenge. So the city of Appleton, which is also in Wisconsin, for those of you not local to the Wisconsin area, the city of Green Bay and the city of La Crosse participate in an annual step challenge?
Yeah, so this was actually the first year the City of Green Bay and the City of Appleton invited us to participate with them, and it was really fun program that we did for the first time. But it was a step challenge, so participants, it was your average number of steps, and then it was just a fun, friendly competition. But the winner received a traveling trophy that we have with our plate that says Tri-City Challenge, and then it has City of La Crosse, City of Green Bay, and City of Appleton. And ultimately, the City of Green Bay prevailed in that one. But we look forward to challenging them again next year.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. I love this. And just for those of you that aren't Motion Connected users or familiar with the Motion Connected app, the steps are, there's only a certain number that you can get per day. They're capped. And I believe it's 14,000. Is that right, Heidi?
I think for the challenge, they actually capped it at 25,000.
Okay.
Correct. But yeah, but then to get to the points for the challenge on your scorecard, you had to have an average of 10,000 steps.
Awesome. Yes. So people aren't out just, jogging in place in a meeting. Yeah. There is, yeah.
Right.
There's a limit. Awesome. Well, just to wrap up, Heidi, what tips do you have for organizations that are just starting out in a wellness program, or, you got your 15-year veteran hat on? How do you get it to that 93% engagement level?
So I have a few things. The first, I think, having that senior level support from your CEO, your mayor, your city administrator, definitely your HR director, on down to your supervisors and your managers. Once you have that buy-in from leadership, your wellness program will have the support it needs to be successful. The second thing I would say is definitely don't be afraid to make connections with people outside of your organization. Connections are important in learning what works and what doesn't work, and for other organizations, and just bouncing ideas off each other, getting more resources is always a great thing. The third thing is create a wellness team. These are your champions ultimately for the program. So they help by offering a vision, providing feedback, and promoting the program to their coworkers. And then I would say, if you can, offer wellness programs on paid time during their workday. This definitely sends a message to employees that your company cares enough about their health and well-being to offer these opportunities on paid time.
Absolutely.
And then I think, lastly, your wellness program isn't always going to go 100% as planned. You have programs that will completely flop, but you also have programs that will be a complete success. So you have to be willing to try new things and be creative, believe in your program, and then ultimately believe that what you're doing, or we as wellness professionals are doing, is making a difference in the employees' lives.
Absolutely. Heidi, that was such good. Those were 5 great, amazing tips. And I think it's important when wellness and even HR so often is just, a team of one, or you feel so siloed, that having those partnerships within your community, whether it's with the insurance provider or benefits provider, colleagues at another organization or institution, but also within your organization with those wellness champions and leadership support is so important to be successful. And when you say, there will be programs that flop, there will. I've had that in my career. Just flopped horribly. But also you learn so much from that. And by sticking with it, it does make such an impact on an individual's overall life. That's true. Thank you so much. I can't thank you enough. This has been wonderful. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you for your time and energy.